as I'd mentioned, already for the Tata Group, the aggregate turnover that we estimate for this year will be in the region of 2,650 crores. It's been growing at CAGR, compound annual growth rate, over the last 5 years of over 18%. So clearly it's already been a promising space with significant business opportunity. But I think going forward, given some of the government's announcements and plans around issues like Make in India and trying to focus on the security challenges that India faces, there will be more opportunities. The private sector, after all, in this country is quite a recent entrant in the defense and aerospace industry. So I think we are certainly extremely bullish about the future and the growth possibilities.
For instance, you highlighted that, for instance, in the case of Tata Motors, that there would be increasing focus on the combat range. Could you highlight what exactly the plan is for other verticals as well, Tata Powers, for instance? How would they be looking to scale up their presence in this sector?
I think all of our companies in the last year alone have delivered some outstanding projects. So, for instance, Tata Power ACD, you talked about, has had a repeat order for the Akash missile launchers. They've also initiated a lot of the activity around the modernization of airfields. Similarly, Tata Advanced Systems has been delivering the wings for the Pilatus PC-12. They've been delivering the empennage for the Super Hercules aircraft. We are the single source supplier in the world for the Super Hercules empennage. So I think across the spectrum, across verticals, we are seeing significant delivery and new contracts also that we're expecting in the near future.
How does the pipeline look in terms of new launches and also in terms of what you are expecting to scale up in terms of critical expertise in many of the imported products that come into the country so far in the defense space?
I think very strong because we have already seen statements made by the government on their commitment in this space. We've already seen the growth that we've already enjoyed in the last few years. I think looking ahead, we see significant business opportunities scaling up. I think the Defense Expo, which is happening in the next few weeks in Goa, will be a good opportunity for more of these announcements to be made. And we are certainly extremely bullish about the space.
What are the strategic partnerships you are eyeing at this point that could add value to your business?
I wouldn't be able to comment on new partnerships. These tend to be quite sensitive. But certainly, I think if you just look over the last 1 year, a number of the partnerships we've had which have scaled with global tier 1 players, including the likes of Lockheed Martin, Pilatus, RUAG, Boeing, Cobham. So I think you will see more of these going forward.
So in this space, as of now, we have 70% coming in as imports and there's localization of around 30%. And you did reiterate that you want to enter into critical strategic areas that have so far been mainly imported from other countries. What are the challenges you're seeing with respect to this and what is the roadmap for overcoming these challenges?
So let's understand the importance of the defense space in India. I think there are at least 3 and probably more reasons why it is critical that we create strong private sector capability. The first is, of course, the point that you made about large amount of imports and therefore the need to substitute these in order to conserve foreign currency, foreign exchange. India is now perhaps the largest importer of defense equipment in the world. The second is job creation, that as more of these can get manufactured on scale in India, you create many more jobs for this market, this economy. It's very much in sync with the Prime Minister's vision for Make in India. But the third, I think, is a critical aspect, which is innovation. The more of this that you can bring to India, the more you can challenge and encourage your private sector to make investments in research and development and innovation, the more spin-off benefits you will have, not just for defense, homeland security, but other spaces. I mentioned a little while back that a large part of the innovation that you've seen in the digital universe in the United States was in fact a fallout of the significant investments that were made in defense going back 3-4 decades. So I think that's the kind of opportunity that really we need to seek to innovate and to create more intellectual property in this country.
My last question, you mentioned that private players are new entrants in this space. We are seeing multiple private players enter this space. What does the competition look like? And do you see the space that can be kind of, do you see multiple players thriving in this space, or do you think it's going to be more of a 1 or 2 player kind of a game that we see going forward?
I think the Indian industry is very nascent. The private sector has been a player really only for a few years because hitherto it was largely secured only for the public sector, and there was a discomfort perhaps a few years back with allowing the private sector to get into a sensitive space like defense. But that's changing now. So I think it is too early to call out and say that it is going to be a space that perhaps is seeing too many entrants. We are seeing some very credible players. I think more will come. And in our own group, for instance, in Tata's, we have over 10 companies that are contributing in their own fashion in the space. So we think that there is significant opportunity and the pie is large enough for everyone to participate in.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.